Well, it's early on Friday, February 27th, 2015. Many years ago, I knew a fella in Southern California. Very talented guy. Uh, but he had led uh, well, bluntly, he was a drug addict. And things weren't going well. Uh, Big guy. He was bigger than me. Talent. He was a good musician, funny, could talk. But anyway, things were going really bad for him. So he decided to end it all. He decided to kill himself. So he took his old Cadillac. I think it was like somewhere between 15 and 20 years old, probably closer to 20 years old. And he drove north out of Los Angeles on the Pacific Highway, Highway 1. And he found a spot in the road where there, on the west side of the road, overlooking the Pacific, was a wide spot in the road, where one of those places where you can pull off the road, take a break, stretch your legs, look at the Pacific, take pictures if you want. And across from that overlook was also a wide spot in the road so that he could actually pull off the road, and instead of his car facing north and south, he had it facing east and west. He had it aimed at the ocean. And this is what he was going to do. He was going to kill himself. So, first, he had purchased a large amount of heroin, and he shot up. He was going to overdose on heroin. Then he took out his pistol, and he pointed it at his head, and he was going to shoot himself. And he was going to gun the Cadillac, and it was going to fly off that cliff and smash into the Pacific Ocean, and he'd drown. And if it didn't make it to the Pacific, it would crash on the cliffs below, and in a fiery inferno he would die. They had it all covered, you know. So there was no traffic, so he stomps on the accelerator and tries to gun across. Well, it's a 20-year-old Cadillac, and it's rather than speed across the road, it kind of lumbered. He failed to notice that at the edge of this overhang was a rock curb. So, he's shot up, so he's going to overdose, and his Cadillac, the front wheels hit that rock curb, and the gun, he shoots, and the bullet goes through the roof instead of into his head. And then his Cadillac lurches over the rock curb, and the back wheels and the axle catch on the rock curb, and his Cadillac is hanging there, with the back end of the Cadillac up in the air. Now, a guy in a big pickup truck is driving by, notices that this car is hanging on the edge, drives it. He's got one of those big heavy ropes in the back of his pickup, so he ties it around the axle, or whatever. I think the axle would be the most obvious place, and then he attaches it to his pickup truck, and he puts tension on it so that the Cadillac won't fall over the cliff. Now, this was in the days before a lot of cell phones. May have been in the days before cell phones. I don't even know if there were any cell phones around then. But anyway, somebody comes by and says, "What's going on?" He says, "Get to a phone. Call the rescue people. There's a guy in that car." So somebody leaves, and they find a phone, and sure enough, the fire department and the rescue people show up. And they, and then in the meantime, another guy with another pickup, and this guy had a chain, so he attaches the chain, and so they got two pickups, making sure the Cadillac doesn't go over the edge. Well, eventually, they get the Cadillac back up on level ground, and inside is my friend unconscious. He was supposed to overdose. What happened? Well, he's kind of lucky. Bought a bad load of heroin, and he wakes up in the hospital instead of in hell, and he gets to thinking. He says, if God doesn't want you to go, it means there's something you're supposed to do, and I haven't done it yet. So I better get around to doing whatever it is I'm supposed to do. Turned his life around. Changed his life. Gave up the drugs. Like I said, he was a pretty good musician. I eventually lost contact with him, but the last time I actually saw him, he had a big part in the movie. It was a pretty good movie, too. So, I don't know what he's doing now. I have no idea. But what a heck of a story. He was going to overdose on heroin. He was going to shoot himself in the head, and he was going to drown in the Pacific Ocean. And God wouldn't let him go. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't even know if he's alive, but I'll tell you, it's a hell of a story. Hell of a story. Wow. Well, have a good day. Love you. Take care. Go Packers.